Monsters All Out Attack. No, the reason why I put Monsters All Out Attack in the series, oh yeah, it's episode 3, remember, is because there's monsters all over the world that they're gonna have to get through in their lives until they get to the global sphere. So, Adrian, Troy, and Seraphina must taste the treacheries of the death on Desert Death. This is the most dangerous desert in the universe. As they get in there, instantly, oh yeah, this is 2 years, so now, he says, now that you have the code, your city code, the next thing you will do is now we will go through a full 2 years to train you guys to get through these hardships, so then you will all be 14, because they were 12 when they got into the school. He says, we will train your powers to the maximum. Got it, grunts? They go, yes, sir. As they start to train their asses off, with Adrian mastering Aura. Basically, he can go through anything he wants. He goes, don't make me now violent. Now, Adrian has gotten a mastery over his power, so now it's time. But Mr. Shiozaki says in his head, I know Adrian's got a strong power and how he's mastered it, but that power has a dark side. What he doesn't realize is, I'm thinking it's too much, but what he doesn't realize is that he's a late bloomer. The latest you can have your powers is 10. But him going to having 12? I'll be right back. To talk to the customer. Alright, let's get back into it. So with this, he says, Adrian's definitely gonna have some problems. That's why he's probably the lowest by far in the class in power mastery. His mastery is hard to do. His power makes it extremely hard. And it's not just because of his power, it's because of how late he got it. He's a late bloomer, is what we call it here. Late bloomers are what are called powerful people, but their powers always have a drawback. No, their powers can never be normal. As he goes, whatever, I guess we could just focus on his graduation, which is tomorrow. They'll get ready and head off in their squads, in their trios as they head off. They head into this force and into a talk. They already make it about 100 meters, as then instantly they're attacked by the purple creatures. Adrian creates 2 blades in his hands like spirit swords. You know the things that Vegito does? As he goes, and cuts 2 of them in half. As Sarah instantly stops time and starts to barrage them all with air punches. Her fists are so strong that she can create air punches now. As Adrian goes, and creates an orb and shoots it out. Troy enhances his arm power and enhances his attributes into his arm. So then a yellow aura comes and launches him back. Adrian creates a blast and shoots it out at full force, knocking the rest of them out. As he says, now, sealing technique, aura seal, as he seals them away. Adrian says in his head, I'm going to build up my energy from here. So then when I get ready, I can launch it out in an all-out attack. As then they're walking forward, Troy says, let's get a water break. Adrian, instantly using the power of aura, creates him a sand tent will stay still. As he goes, let's get in. As they get in, he starts to take a water break. But then after that, they hear a giant noise. They hear a rah! Adrian goes, crap! And he says, everyone take your last sips, we're fighting. Troy and Sarah take their last sips of their drinks, put it back in. As they flip it in, as Adrian creates 2 aura blades and cuts through the tent as he instantly stabs into it, but it barely does anything as this thing's huge. Adrian says, this thing's about 100 meters. But then he grabs its skin and tries to throw it, but it just rips off the skin of this thing. This goo of this thing, as he goes, ugh! He goes, ew, what the heck is this? As he creates an aura sphere which removes all the stuff and shoots it out. Well, it hits the monster but barely does anything. Sarah stops time and barrages it with air punches, and Troy instantly kicks it. But it's not doing anything, as the monster literally crushes Adrian and knocks him back with full force. As he goes, ugh! As he rolls back and lands on his feet, sliding back. He goes, as he creates a bigger one and launches it at this thing, colliding with it, which the thing barely holds on and hit by it. But then it creates this giant purple orb and throws it. Adrian creates his own aura sphere as he goes, ah! The 2 attacks class, but the purple one is 10 times stronger as it hits the ground, knocking them all back. As they're on the ground, this thing crushes Serafina, then kicks Troy a mile away. As Adrian goes, crap! He's about to be defeated, but Sarah comes back with another air punch, which still doesn't do anything, and then she's slammed to the ground. Adrian, with anger, goes, ah, you bastard! As he creates a beam so large that it's gonna collide. He compresses that as he goes, duh, 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 duh. As the monster goes, that's so much power built up. As then an aura flares on Adrian as he goes, ah, Kame! Ah, me! As he goes, ah! As this beam annihilates this thing. But it regens into little ones as easily Adrian can take care of them with his aura blades. As Adrian calms down as he goes, they take another water break and then they start to get on the walk again. Sarah with a black eye, which she wraps up in bandages, and Troy with a broken rib. Oh yeah, Sarah's got much more than a black eye. As they take a quick rest, as then they're back on the trail. As Christian goes, and then he says, what can we do? Sarah says, well, we have years to go to get there. Adrian says, I hate the sound of that. He says, but we should get going. He says, swimming is probably our least bet, but we're gonna have to build a boat. As they get to a lake, which cuts off the desert, Adrian says, there's sea monsters in here. Big ones. And we have to cross this entire ocean to get to the next continent where our school is. And he says, this is like the city of Asterisk? No. Aturik. Oh wait, it's called the city of Aton. Sarah says, Aton? That's a pretty good name. Not really. She says, well, let's make a boat. As they start to rip down trees, they start creating into a boat, as then they do it. Adrian says this is good enough, as they get paddles and then push it. But they all use their powers to boost themselves faster. Under the sea, a ginormous shark, whale, it's a toothed whale, don't worry, it's not a blue. A shark is spying on the boat, as it instantly crushes it. As this shark is huge. It's about 100 meters. I keep on saying meters. It's about 200 meters. This shark's huge. That is only like, it's like a goldfish in a bowl. It's way too small. As it goes, as Christian's chopped into the mouth. As Adrian's chopped in the mouth, and Sarah and Troy are trying to swim away from this thing. Adrian is scared as he runs up on top of it, running around it. As it starts to get nauseous and spits him out. As he creates an oyster and shoots it out. This hits it, the shark, and actually damages it. As then he creates an aura beam, but then he's wrapped by tentacles, but he cuts through the tentacles with aura blades, then creates the beam and shoots it out at the shark, annihilating it. As he grabs a piece of meat, which he can easily use for food. As he puts it on and throws it up in the air and blasts it into a million pieces, and he puts it into a bag, wraps it up, adds ice. As then he gets ready saying, we're having octopus tonight. As he says, we're having squid tonight. as he creates a beam and as he creates an aura thing and cuts the tentacles off. Then he looks at the thing and jabs it through the face. Now this squid, which is the Kraken, is about 500 meters. It's huge. As he throws it in the air going, as he goes, that's what happens when you're in the new generation. You have insane strength. As Adrian starts to shoot out blasts all over the lake to try and make it bubbly, to make all sea creatures fly up in the air, he catches tons of fish, which he cuts in half, then removes all the things in a blitz, as then he puts them all in another bag, spins that around, wraps it up, puts some ice in it, and he says, let's go guys. As they row across this giant thing, Adrian says, there's a little island, let's go on it. They head on it as they make a quick fire, cook up the fish and octopus tentacles, and the squid tentacles, as then they start to eat. Adrian says, we're low on water, how are we gonna do this? Troy says, no idea. As Adrian says, wait a minute, give me a cup. As they pull out their bottles, instead and they scoop up water from the ocean. He goes, it's not good for us, so we can't drink it. I have an idea. As he puts his hand to the bottom of his, as he goes, the thing starts to shake, as there's a whirlpool inside of it, which then leaves all the salt at the bottom. As he goes, Troy, dump yours out. What? Yes. So Troy dumps all of this water out and cleans this thing quickly. Alright, so welcome back. Let's get into this. So this Adrian, after he puts a little bit of powder in his thing, and he goes, hey, don't use any illegal stuff. Adrian yells at him saying that it's not illegal, and why would you even expect that? Plus, how are we going to get in trouble if it was illegal? There's no one here. And he says, no, it's not. It's this power that separates the dirt from the water. As he does it, as all the dirt floats to the bottom, as they can quickly take a drink, as in they go swim even faster.